So here at Spring Valley, Legion Post 227, we're going to have a virtual Memorial Day service this year. This is kind of like last year in one way that it's raining this year, so we're doing it under the shelter. So we're just going to go along with our program as the best we can, and it'll get all uploaded to social media all over the place. And we're going to start out with my daughter Ella singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, my daughter Emma will have the opening prayer.
John 15, verse 13. For the greatest love of all is a love that sacrifices all. And this great love is demonstrated when a person sacrifices his life for his friends. If you'll join me in prayer. Dear God, bless all those men and women who have sacrificed their lives for our nation. May they find peace with you that they may not have been able to find on earth. We pray that you help their families as they struggle with the loss of a key member in their lives. We pray that you help everyone realize that you are always there for us. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen.
This is the speech that the Legion prepares for us, and I've read it through, and it's very fitting for the Memorial Day of 2020. Every crisis has new heroes. During the 9/11 attacks, there were the first responders running into burning and crumbling buildings as others ran out. Now, during the coronavirus pandemic, the most visible heroes are the healthcare professionals who are saving others and risking their own lives while doing so. These heroes have much in common with the people that we honor today, America's fallen veterans. They are men and women who have sacrificed their own lives so others could live. They are both elite and ordinary. They are elite in the sense of character. Giving your life so others could live is the ultimate definition of selfless. They are ordinary in the fact that they represent the diverse fabric of our country. They are rich and poor, black and white, male and female. They come from every ethnicity and background. In short, they look like any one of us. As we celebrate the selfless and untiring performances of the healthcare workers during the COVID-19 pandemic, it brings to mind the military medics, doctors, and nurses who sacrificed their lives while treating others on the battlefield. One such hero is Pharmacist Mate 3rd Class Jack Williams. The Navy Reserve Corpsman was only 20 years old when he landed on Iwo Jima 75 years ago. On March 3, 1945, James Naughton, a Marine in Williams' unit, was wounded by a grenade. While under intense enemy fire, Williams dragged Naughton to a shallow depression and treated his wounds. Williams used his own body as a screen and was shot 4 times, yet he continued. After he treated Naughton, Williams dressed his own wounds. He then proceeded to treat another, Marine, despite his own immense pain. While heading to the rear, he was hit by a sniper's bullet and killed. For his actions, Petty Officer Williams was awarded the Medal of Honor. We also remember Army veterans like Lieutenant Sharon Lane. According to her biographer, Philip Bigler, Lieutenant Lane threw herself into her work as a nurse while serving in Colorado. She requested a transfer to Vietnam. There, at least, you are busy 12 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week, she said in a 1968 letter to her parents. Her dedication is obvious, even as she treated enemy Viet Cong soldiers who would return the favor by kicking, cursing, and spitting at their American captors. In the early morning of June 8, 1969, Sharon's tour of duty ended. The Soviet-built rocket struck the hospital. Lieutenant Sharon A. Lane was killed in action at age 25. If she were still here, her skills as a nurse might still be benefiting us during the current crisis. But not all of the heroes working during the COVID-19 pandemic are in the healthcare industry. Grocers, first responders, delivery workers, and drive-through restaurant employees are just a few of the many people that we rely on to provide vital services for society while risking their own safety. The military also has heroes in every occupational field. Truck drivers, cooks, and administrative clerks have all paid the ultimate price. At sea, on land, or in the air, military service requires great risk. Roy Knight, Jr. was a pilot in the U.S. Air Force. On May 19, 1967, he was shot down while attacking a target on the Ho Chi Minh Trail in Laos. He was posthumously promoted to colonel. Last year, a joint team from the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency discovered and later identified Colonel Knight's remains. When his remains arrived at Dallas's Love Field, a crowd had gathered to witness the dignified transfer of the flag-draped casket from the Southwest Airlines jet into the receptive arms of the Military Honor Guard. One observer reported that the entire crowd fell silent. The Southwest flight was piloted by another Air Force veteran, Colonel Knight's son, Brian. Brian Knight was only 5 years old when he said goodbye to his father as the elder Knight left for Vietnam. This is yet another legacy that these heroes leave behind, a legacy that includes their sons, daughters, grieving parents, grandparents, and friends. Their heroic acts are sometimes performed to protect those with whom they serve. Corporal Jason Dunham was a squad leader with the 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines in Iraq. On April 14, 2004, his squad approached a Toyota Land Cruiser. After his squad discovered AK-47s in the vehicle, the enemy insurgent exited and engaged in hand-to-hand fighting with the unit. The driver dropped a grenade. To save his fellow Marines, Corporal Dunham made the ultimate sacrifice. He threw himself on the grenade and tried to use his helmet to shield the blast. Severely wounded by the grenade's fragments, Corporal Dunham was taken off life support 8 days later. Corporal Dunham died so other Marines could live. He too was awarded the Medal of Honor for his gallantry. Approximately 1 million men and women of the U.S. military have lost their lives in defense of our nation since the founding of this great republic. Not all have died from enemy fire. Some have died from diseases that have too often festered around war zones. Oftentimes, deaths from disease and accidents outnumbered casualties caused by enemy weapons. During the Spanish-American War, 60 soldiers of the all-black 24th Infantry Regiment volunteered to serve as nurses. 36 of them would later die of yellow fever or malaria. A generation later, the flu would kill nearly 16,000 U.S. soldiers in France during World War I. Another 30,000 American service members died in stateside camps. These men and women could have isolated safely in their homes, but they knew they had an important job to do, a mission to accomplish. They were all on a mission to serve. Even when the enemy is an invisible virus or a microscopic germ, the sacrifices made are just as meaningful. The U.S. military has already lost service members to COVID-19. This Memorial Day, as we continue to honor those who fell for us in battle, let's also pause to remember those who have also sacrificed their lives while serving others. May God bless them, and may God bless you for remembering them here today. Thank you. In closing today, normally we'd be opening up our fundraising for the year with hot dogs and whatnot, but we can't do that this year. We were talking, hopefully we'll be able to maybe have something at the 4th of July, and I certainly hope that we'll be able to maybe have our beer garden at the Ford garage at Dam Days. So keep watching our social media feeds, and we'll keep everybody updated as what's going on with 4th of July and Dam Days. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and please share it with as many as you can.